Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and this adorable warthog is the new pattern in the Funny Faces Quilt Block of the Month Club. When I say new, it is July 2024, and this is the pattern that you get instantly if you are in the club. So if you're already in the club, you should have already received a link to download the new pattern. And if you're not in the club yet, but you join anytime in the month of July 2024, this is the pattern that you're going to get instant access to. If you're watching this video and it is way past July 2024 and you're looking for the pattern, just look in the shop at shinyhappyworld.com and you'll find it there. Here's how to make it. All right, this is the video showing you how to put the warthog block together if you do not have a light box. So I've got all of my pieces prepared, and if you are not using a light box, that means that I have all of the pieces cut out on the solid lines, and all of these dotted lines I have transferred over to the fabric side of the paper. So you can just hold the pieces up to a window, and with the light shining behind them, you'll be able to see those lines very clearly through to the front. So you just want to transfer all of those markings. They are placement markings. The only ones that are not placement markings on this pattern are the eyelashes, and those are optional. So if you want to just skip them, go ahead and skip them. So the warthog has actually quite a few pieces, and if you get confused about what any of the pieces are, you have a guide. So this is the placement guide for the pattern, and all of the pieces are numbered, and that will tell you which piece is what if you ever get confused about that. So here's how to put them together. Okay, we're going to start with the piece that goes off the bottom edge of the block. So I like to do my quilts what I call snapshot style, and that is I like to imagine that I have snapped a photo of this warthog and I have zoomed way in on his face. So I want it to look like he has a body, it's just been cropped off in the photo. And to give that illusion, I want to have the bottom piece line up with the edge of the bottom edge of the block, so that that will then be sewn into the seam, and it'll look like like in a photo where that piece has been cropped out. So we're going to start with that. If you want to do yours what I call emoji style, just leave off that bottom shoulder piece and just do all of the rest of the pieces. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing and put the head piece in place, but we've got a little bit of fussing around we're going to do with his snout. So for now, I'm just going to set that there. So I've got two pieces here. I've got a mouth piece and a snout piece, and I want the mouth piece to overlap the shoulder, and the snout piece is going to overlap the top of his head and the mouth. So I'm going to start by putting this mouth piece in place. His chin, I guess we could call it. So those lines that I transferred, those are going to be very helpful in placing this. Basically, I want to cover up that line, and as soon as I cover up that line, I know that I have good coverage, and that is going to work. When I am outline stitching, it's going to catch all those edges in there, and you'll be able to launder this quilt when it is all finished. So next up, we're going to put the bigger snout piece in, and that overlaps that same line there, or that similar line there. So we're going to just overlap that, and it overlaps also some of the other shoulder pieces. Now we are going to take this head and we are going to slide it back there until that line is covered up. So we just want to slide until it's covered. Great. Okay, now I'm going to hold off on that snout. I'm going to get his tusks in place. So these also have some lines that I transferred, and we are going to tuck those. So they are going to overlap the line on the shoulders and the line on the face, and they are going to have their own line is going to be overlapped by the snout there. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So when you have this many pieces, things can get a little bit complicated with what's tucking over and under what. If you have a light box, all these pieces are numbered and you're laying them in place in order, and that can kind of help. But it's totally doable without a light box as well. All right, so that's got his two tusks in place, and I just wanted to position them. If you look at your guide, you can see that I have them so that they are not overlapping the warts on the side of his head. You can change the angles a little bit if you want to, but I just wanted to have a simpler design that way. Now I'm going to do the same thing with these ears. So this is ear number 2, so I know it's going to tuck over on this side of the head, and the eyelashes actually end up being a handy little reference too, because I transferred those for this version of it, and I just want to make sure that those eyelashes all line up as well. Doing the same thing now on the other side of the head. I'm going to tuck that behind there, cover up that line, and line up those eyelashes. All right, and now I have a few more detail pieces. So we have his nose. He's got a great big nose. Warthogs really have enormous noses. And he does have a tuft of hair. Sometimes this is not very visible on a warthog, so you could definitely leave this off if you wanted to. If you were doing a quilt with multiple warthogs and you wanted to change some of them up, that's one way you can change it, is to not have the, some of them don't have to have a little mane. And then 13 and 14 are the eyes. So I've got 4 ovals total for this pattern, and 2 of them are the eyes. They are identical and interchangeable. And then I've got 2 more that are just slightly smaller than the eyes, and those are the big nostrils. So again, this is a place where that placement guide will help you if you're having trouble figuring out which ovals are which. The pieces are all numbered. So we're going to put 1 oval on this side, and then 1 more piece. All right, there he is. So I'm going to lift this up very carefully, carry it over to my ironing board, and fuse everything into place. I'll do all of the outline stitching, and then I will bring it back here and I'll show you the finished block and also 2 other versions that I did with different colors. All right, here is a finished warthog. So I've done all of the outline stitching and I think he's absolutely adorable. I also added a couple of catch lights to his eyes. It just helps to bring those eyes to life. And there's a link in the pattern to a video tutorial showing you how to do that. It shows you a few different ways to do that. I just used fabric paint for mine, but I show you a hand sewing method and a machine sewing method that you can do it with thread. So this is one version of the warthog that I made. The colors of the warthog himself, all of the applique fabrics that I used are from the Fox blenders, part of the Animal Kingdom collection. And this background block is one of the Farmer's Market blocks. These are all quilt blocks. They're solid colors and they have quilting lines printed right on them, which makes it really easy to do. So this is a color palette that I'm working on, putting together a whole bunch of animals for an ABC quilt that I am creating with all of my different blocks. But I did a couple more colors as well. So this is a version that I made for a new safari bundle. So I already have a safari bundle with 10 different African animals on it. And the African animals are so awesome. So I'm working on another safari bundle with 10 more African animals on it. And all of these are going to be the animals in natural colors. And then the background blocks are all from the Sea Breeze collection, which are all these kind of sun-faded, muted colors, kind of beachy colors. Like imagine paint at the beach that has been exposed to the sun for a few years. So for this one, I made the warthog in gray. They very often come in this kind of cinnamony brown, especially if they've been rolling around in a lot of mud. But most warthogs are actually kind of a grayish color. So this one is gray, and on this one you can see I did do the eyelashes, which are optional. They're included in the pattern. You can stitch them or you can just leave them off. And I've got one more version that I made. So this is just a fun, colorful version that I made. So another one with the eyelashes. This isn't for any particular bundle. I'm just working on a quilt that has a bunch of animals where the animal is in the Sea Breeze collection. So this is kind of a berry, nice red. I call it seashell. So it's a seashell, like imagine the inside of a seashell. And then the background blocks are all going to be different shades of gray. So this is just going to be a soft, muted, weathered color kind of quilt that has just all different unrelated animals, just whatever I think is cute and feel like putting on there. So that is the new Warthog block, the Funny Faces Quilt Block of the Month pattern for July 2024. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and I will see you next time.